Hello everyone, this is Joanna. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I wanted to show you how to do double heat embossing. It's a really fun and easy technique, and for that I'm using my very favorite stencil, and that's Altenew Dahlia layered stencil. So it comes as stencil A, and then you're going to have to put stencil B on top in order to get the effect that we have today. And the two embossing powders are gold and silver, but of course it's your choice what you're going to use. So the reason why I have the stencils already attached to the cardstock is because I've been using it all weekend long, and if you attach them on all three sides here and you have that one side open where you can slit the paper, it just makes it very easy for you to reuse it over and over. And I know I'm going to use it right now for the next few days actually, because I still have some other projects lined up, so I'm just gonna leave it be. Now I'm going to put the anti-static powder on, because we always want to do it when we emboss it so that the Versamark sticks only to the areas that we want to that we want it to stick. I'm gonna slide it inside, and once I place it there, I will start applying my Versamark. Now you can just take the whole Versamark ink pad and start applying it just like that. I don't do that because I feel that I get a better coverage on this stencil if I'm going to use my little sponge thing. So I'm just gonna try to get as much coverage as I can. If you're not gonna get the coverage, of course the embossing powder is not gonna stick to it, so that is important. And you cannot see it, but as I'm applying it, you can totally see where the Versamark goes on. Now if you do have this particular stencil, I'm just gonna give you a heads up that this part right here, this part of the leaf, tends to pop up. So when you get to it, try not to rub it, just come down and push it down with your sponge, and you'll be okay. So we're almost done here, and as soon as I'm done with it, I'm going to grab my embossing powder and we're going to apply it. So the gold embossing powder goes on. I forgot to plug in my heat gun. Shame on me for that. So let's remove this, and we'll see what areas I did not cover well, because it certainly will show. And I should get more gold embossing powder too. I've been embossing so much lately with the stencil that I have been using up my supplies. But look how pretty it looks just by itself. Wish we could keep it like that. We actually could with glitter, if we apply glitter to it. Okay, so just make sure that you cover nicely. And make sure that you have put the anti-static on, because if you haven't, then all the white areas will have a little gold powder in it. Alright, so now I'm gonna start heating up my heat gun, and you can see I already messed up here. I'm thinking that I probably lifted it up with my finger and smudged the powder right there on top, right here. It's okay, it's not a big deal, but still, if you guys can prevent that from happening, do it. So let's get to work with that. I know it's quite a bit of buzzing in your ear, but it's kind of fun to watch when the embossing powder melts. Very, very satisfying. And actually, without putting the second layer on, this would be a very pretty card in itself. This stencil is just so pretty. I have made so many cards with it. sponging the flowers in different colors and the leaves in different colors. You can check out my blog. I have a whole series of cards just with that, dedicated to this stencil. Definitely getting my money's worth here. Now, speaking about this heat gun, that's a new heat gun that I got, and honestly I really don't think I like it very much. My old heat gun died on me after 15 years and had to get a new one, and this one just doesn't seem to be heating up as much as the old one. Okay, so now let's make sure that everything is melted. Okay, there you go. So now I tell you that it looks just pretty in itself, and now you can see all the mistakes that I have made, so don't make them. I did a good job on this card, but here you can see that I missed some. I missed some here, and this is what happens where the powder, the anti-static powder, doesn't go on right. So omit the mistakes here, do it the way I did here. So now I'm done with stencil A. It is time for stencil B, which is also attached to the cardstock because I have been using it a lot, like I said. So I'm just going to slide it. Oh, no, I'm not going to slide it. I'm going to put the anti-static on first. What am I talking about? I just told you that you have to put the anti-static and I almost forgot it. So let's put the anti-static on. Generous amount. And now you're going to slide it in and you're going to line it up. And it's easy to line it up. You need to make sure that you line it up. If you don't line it up, it will just not come out the way it's supposed to. And it's so just take a minute. It's gonna take just a minute for you to figure out the correct position of this. Sometimes it's just a tiny little movement that you need. I think this is good enough. Okay, no, the top is not right. Okay, this is good. This is good. And now we're gonna go and we're gonna apply more Versamark to it. Now with this layer, I definitely would use the sponge versus the entire ink pad because it has a lot of little nooks and crannies. Now I always compare it to like when you're painting. When you're painting your room, if you don't do a good job masking it, it's just not gonna come out right. So that's the thing with this layered stencil. If you're not gonna take a minute and line it up, you just will simply not get the result that you're after. So it's not worth it. Just take a minute, and you can see that I shifted mine on top, and you'll see all my errors today. Oh my goodness. And I'm shaking the camera on top of that, man, just all over the place. Okay, let's see how this is going to come out. Now the top layer is silver, so let's apply silver. Yeah, this double embossing, heat embossing is just fun. It really is a fun technique. It makes things look so fancy, and it's really not that difficult. You can totally do it with layered stamps. That'll be awesome way to use this technique on your layered stamps. How fun would that be? I probably will make a video on that too. Alright, so let's see what kind of mess did I make and what kind of mistakes I made. And you know, they all come out when you start embossing, right? So let's bring the heat gun. I'm gonna heat it up. And let's see what I did or didn't do. So So I want to show you how it melts on top of the other embossing powder. Neat, huh? Like I said, this embossing gun is just very slow. My old one was fabulous. But, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But you can see that this whole picture comes to life when the second layer melts. And I'm sure we can see all the errors that I have made. Almost there. And there you go. And we are there. We did it. Alright. So, there it is. There's your background. There's your double embossing. How fun was that? It's so simple too. So here I just took hello, and I also triple embossed, put triple embossing powder on it. If you want to see how I've done it, I have a blog on that, how to create those. They are so much fun. Here are some other colors that I have done. These are the cards that I'm still working on. So I did it on black, also the gold, and then silver on the second layer. Here it's on denim, and I did a clear on the first layer, and then pearl on the top layer, which is kind of interesting because it really looks so much like silver, but it is pearl. And here I did it on gray. Again, I did clear and then pearl on gray. So I'm going to finish up these cards so you can see them on my blog. And this one is the one that is already done, and you can see how beautiful it is and how fun this technique is. Hope you guys give it a try and enjoy it. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ta!